Joe Rogan is in the news again, this time for claiming to be a bleeding heart liberal. His words. Bleeding heart liberal, of course, is a term usually used as a pejorative against the left from conservatives, which he's one of. But anyway, he claims to be a bleeding heart liberal, and very confused as to why people think he's a conservative. Now, this, of course, comes only a few days after he went viral for being surprised that it was against the law to steal a homeless person's things, and going on to ponder about whether or not we could solve the homeless crisis by just simply shooting them. Something Trump, of course, wanted to do with immigrants. And that was only about a week after he gave his endorsement for president to Governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. Should he run? Ron DeSantis, of course, one of the furthest right politicians we have in the country. Outright fascist, I would say. Probably not someone a bleeding heart liberal would endorse. And that was only a few weeks after he said that every LGBTQ person is basically a groomer and should be kept away from children, because anyone who isn't straight and cis is a groomer. And telling a school teacher, telling little Timmy that that kid over there has two mommies is the same thing as grooming. Yeah, and of course, in that he gave his full endorsement of the Florida Don't Say Gay bill. Honorable mentions, by the way, all the COVID misinformation, because you can't trust doctors and scientists, a hallmark of conservatism. And of course, there was the supercut of him saying the N-word over and over again, and joking, he claimed, about how being in a black neighborhood reminded him of the film Planet of the Apes. And of course, he constantly rips on every left-wing position while advocating for every conservative position. But now he's claiming to be a bleeding heart liberal, so he is either gaslighting us or he simply doesn't know what words mean. I think it is mostly just ignorance, though, because he showed us many times over the last few years just how politically and socially unaware he is, and has a stubbornness about him to not take 1 second to learn about these things that he's talking to his massive audience about. But as his massive audience, by the way, who would defend every word he says. If he said up was down, they would defend him. But as I saw someone on Twitter say recently, Joe Rogan is the Oprah for misogynistic Chad bros.